Project 3 will be making a pro show movie from the Wizard, which is going to do a lot of work for us, but we're not going to be able to control as much. But it's going to put some really cool effects on. Again, our first step is to open the Pro Show program. But our second step, and if you buy the program, it'll come up with a Wizard automatically, and you can either say you don't want it, and you can select that, or you can simply use the Wizard as you start to make your shows. I'm going to click on the Wizard icon right there at the top, so I'm not going to save my current project. And on the Wizard, my first step is to click the plus to add the videos. And I'm going to select two cooking, so I'm going to hold the Control key this time instead of using Shift in case I had pictures that weren't next to each other. I'm going to click all the twos. Well, obviously these are next to each other, but that would be a way, if I wanted to select pictures that weren't right next to each other. So once I've got my pictures selected, I'll click Open. So now you see that I've got the pictures here. If I wanted to create a text or a title slide, I'll click on the plus for the text, and I'll type in cooking. And then when I click OK, that slide I can move to any place I want to. And if I want to do another one, I'll click on the plus and I'll put the end. So I've got my titles. If I don't like that slide at the end, if I click on it and click on the X, that'll remove it. If I don't like the orientation, I can simply select rotate until I get it the way I want it. So I've finished this step. I'm going to go down the bottom right and I'm going to click on next to go to my next step. If I wanted to add music, if I click on the plus to add right there, if I go to my desktop, because that's where I'm always saving my work in a folder on the desktop, I go to the folder, I put my music already in that folder that I'm working on my pictures. So if I double click there, now I can see that that's the music that I want to use. However, I don't want to use the music in the Wizard. I'm going to do that myself after. So I'm going to click on the X to remove that. And now I'm going to click Next. Now there's a lot of different effects. If I pick all effects, there's going to be a lot of different effects that'll be there. If I pick birthday or hearts or full frame, I'm going to get that type of a show. It's going to have symbols, and you'll see. First we'll do an all effect show. When I click Next, and you could pick the speed you wanted it to run at, but I'm going to select fast so you can see it work quickly. I'm going to start by selecting standard screen size, which is 4:3, the dimensions. And when I click Create, it'll show you what the show looks like. And again, it's randomizing and automating those effects. If you wanted it to redo that on its own and be a little different than it was, but use the same effect still, I'll just click Try Again. Problem with using the Wizard is if it cuts things off, you still need to manually fix them if you want your show to look right. But I'm going to stay with the Wizard on this one. I'm going to click back. I'm going to click back again. I'm going to select birthday this time. And now when I click Next, and I'll keep it fast, and I'll make it widescreen, and I'll click Create. So now you can see that it's added some effects that give that birthday sense. So it's just a cool way to automatically get a show. If I click back and back again, and I go to Love and Hearts, and I click Next, and then Create. And I'm going to click Next again. And I'm just going to click Done so I can see it on the timeline. Now that I have my show the way it's currently set up by um, using the wizard, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to put the music on myself. So right now I'm in what's called slide view, and what I'd like to do is switch to sound view. So if I hit the tab key, now my timeline changes appearance. The images are all small, but what I can do now is I can select the folder where my music is, which is the same folder that I put my pictures in, and I'll take that sound file and I'll drag it down to the soundtrack because now I'm in sound view. I can see that easily. Um, when I want to edit the sound file, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the control key down, and when I hold the control key, these files can be very large, much larger than the number of pictures you have, or they could be a lot smaller, and you just need to be able to fix that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sound file, I'm going to change its length to the same length as the images. Now once I've got that done, I'm going to resize so I'm going to cause that to fade out and fade in at the beginning and the end. So at this point, I've got a sound file that's the same length as my show, and I've caused my music to fade in and fade out. Now if I want to watch that, I'll click play. And now I will save this show as well. So I'll click on File and Save As. And this is going to be to cooking. And I'll click Save.